Good morning. We are live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to today's Time to Get Seen. Can we give a massive, huge warm welcome to the Craig White, who is full of energy, full of charisma, full of knowledge, full of decision-making skills, and all of the above. So, Craig, give us some of your secret sauce before I let you go off and waffle by yourself.
Hey, well, I guess for me, passion lies with absolutely everything. Like I used to believe like goal setting was a little bit mumbo jumbo, but I learned that actually it's just about getting passionate about your life. And I think when you're passionate about something, you can become excellent at it. And I really do feel that passion is at the heart of everything great that we do, whether it's relationships, whether it's business, whether it's hobbies. It's really down to that personal passion to succeed and be the greatest version of ourselves.
1000%. So as we welcome people here live today, if you are tuning in live, give us a hashtag live in the comments. Let us know you're here. We are about to turn up the heat today. We are bringing you the best speakers from all around the world, even if it is a rainy day here in Mexico. It's 7 a.m. So I'm hoping the rain goes by the time I finish with you guys. But we're about to turn up the heat. So tag your friends in this live and let them know we are live and we are ready to rock and roll. So thank you so much to Craig for being here. I am going to leave you with him for about 25 minutes. I will be in the background because I know he likes to waffle and he will take up all 4 hours if I do let him. But over to you, Craig. Have an amazing one. I'll see you very, very soon.
Hey, well, look, Leona, thank you very much for inviting me to join everyone today. I feel super privileged. I really appreciate the invitation, and I appreciate you guys that are giving up some of your time today. And if I can have one little trigger to your emotions to impact you to become the greatest version of yourselves, to go out there and crush your business, achieve more, give more, become more, then my time here with you today is certainly worth it. And you know, like I'm really excited myself actually. Like Leona was talking about the lineup. Like this lineup is absolutely banging. Like I hope you guys have got your notepads and pens to the ready. You know, we all know, don't we? The more we learn, the more we can earn. The more we learn, the more we become, the more we give, and therefore the more we achieve. So there's a few things I want to share with you today, and I'm going to be as quick as I can. I talk at 100 miles an hour. You're probably getting that already. So look, wherever you are in the world, whether you are in rainy Mexico, which makes me smile a little bit because usually it's really hot. It probably is still really hot. It's freezing here in the UK, but actually there is no rain. But wherever you are in the world, look, it's not what's presented to us. Like, it's how we respond in life. And this is really one of the things that I learned many years ago, and I could probably speak for hours about this, because it's not the event, it's the response that develops the outcome. And I think one of the biggest weaknesses in the world today is too many people wake up in the morning without passion, without purpose, and without commitment. They wake up and they react to what the day brings to them, whether it is, you know, sunshine or rain or storms or challenges. They react to them challenges. However, I believe the successful entrepreneur, the entrepreneur that's within your DNA, incidentally, like we are developed as human beings to learn, develop, and grow. It's in our DNA to succeed. So regardless of from an entrepreneurial spirit or whatever your passion is, waking up in the morning with passion, purpose, and commitment, knowing what your day is going to bring. So you wake up with purpose and passion. You wake up to go and create your day rather than respond or even react to the day. So I'm super excited to be here. Again, a little tangent as always. Joe, last time I spoke, I believe it was at the beginning of this year. The time's really flying by. And we talked about this one simple philosophy. And I'd love you to embrace this. I'd love you to hashtag this, to comment this in the comments. But here's what I believe. Do the do in 2022. This is the year to do the do. And actually, it's not too late to do the do in 2022. It's not what's been that counts. It's what's coming that matters. We all understand the power of now. It's what we do today that creates the day and the tomorrow. You know, as I heard Chris Akabusi, a famous Olympian athlete, talk about from stage many, many years ago, the past is for reference, not residence. So, you know, we all know the choices we make and the action takes are what fundamentally are going to dictate our future. But I just want to share with you, like, you know, obviously we've come into November. I'm seeing all of these Christmas things coming up. Like, it's amazing, right? Like, Halloween finishes and then people are like, right, can we put the Christmas tree up yet? You know, one of the ladies that I work with, one of the leaders in my organization, she was singing like Christmas songs on a reel last night. Like, it was hilarious. But the reason why I mention that, we're coming into probably one of the most exciting times of the year. And for many, many reasons, regardless of what your business is or what your passion and purpose is in. But I really do believe it's time to finish strong, bring your fire, and do the do in 2022, having that passion to succeed. And I always look at, like, even my days and my months, my weeks, my years. I have this one simple philosophy, and I like to call it the philosophy of a marathon runner. Now, just to get this out there, I have never run a marathon, have no intention of ever running a marathon. I did 10K once. I absolutely hated it, but I had made a commitment to do it, so I did it anyway, even though I didn't want to do it. So actually, a philosophy of a marathon runner is quite simple, and I'm sure that you may have heard this before or you'll resonate with this. So a professional marathon runner, when that gun goes off for the start of the race, they will get off to a fast start. Two reasons: to get ahead of the pack and to set their own pace. Why do they get ahead of the pack? Because when you're in the pack, there's all that argy-bargy. So they need to get out fast so that they can run their own race. Now, again, not from an experience perspective, but from a 10K point of view, like, during that race, there's going to be times where you're going to want to give up, but you keep going anyway. There's going to be challenges and obstacles, maybe fatigue or energy or fuel, whatever it may be. But I tell you what's in the human soul and in our DNA and in our nature. When you turn that corner and you see the finish line in sight, you get this added bit of energy where you push yourself to finish strong. So a marathon runner starts fast, finishes strong. What a great methodology to take to your day, your weeks, your months, and your year. So it's a great time to finish strong, develop and create the momentum in not just in 2022, but set yourself up as a springboard for 2023. Now, I believe at this time of year, there is a shared global goal. It's almost as if every single human being in the world gets up, running up to this time of, like, you know, Christmas and celebrations for those that celebrate Christmas, but going into a new year, there's this synergy globally because everyone has the same ambition: have a greater year next year than they had this year. So now is the time to really start to finish strong, get your energy into your business, get your passion into contribution, and really finish strong, setting yourself up for a greater year to dream big, work smarter, and make it happen. I'm going to talk to you about them three things because it's really, really cool to talk about dreaming big, working smart, and making it happen. But how do you do that? So I'm going to share some tips and tricks that have worked for me. So just a little bit of my story, quick overview for one and all. I was a little bit of an entrepreneur at school. I nearly got expelled a few times. So going back to when I was like 13, 14, I found an ear piercing gun in the loft of my parents' house, sterilized it. I was piercing ears like every day at school. I was making an absolute fortune until I got caught and nearly got expelled. That was another story. But my mum, they called my mum into school, and I remember my mum, she was like, okay, we reprimanded, etc., etc. And we got out of school, and she said, I'm so proud of you. Just don't do it at school. Like, what a great mum to have, right? What a great influence. The second thing, I found out my granddad and his best friend actually started an underground pools in Liverpool, later become the biggest pools in the UK after my granddad had given it away. My nan never forgave him, but that's another story. I found that out. So I started running a pools at school. So I obviously always had this desire to do something and make money, but then I fell into the employment world, and the dreams I had as a child started to fade away. From wanting a black 911 Porsche, my dream car became a Golf GTI. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it just goes to show that environment dictates our beliefs, but it also dictates our goals. So we're in an amazing environment. I love what Leona's doing. The community that we have and you guys have with Mums in Business is just absolutely world class. I love being a part of it. I love coming and showing up. So I went into the employment world. Cut a long story short, probably had more jobs than most people have in a lifetime. And I always believe it's because of something I was told. I was told again by my mum this one simple thing: if you don't like doing it, go find something else. So if I didn't enjoy a job, I would look for something else. Now, I was never out of work, but I wasn't going to settle for anything less than made my heart sing. And again, I think that's a big weakness in the world. Too many people settle for less than they deserve, and we deserve to build and design our own life. And that's why no doubt you are here today and doing what you do. So then I stumbled into network marketing almost by accident. I'd been traveling, came back from travels, didn't want to go into the corporate world, didn't want to go back into a factory, didn't want to work in a kitchen, didn't want to work in a nightclub, didn't want to work behind a bar, didn't want to clean buses. A little bit of an example of some of the jobs. I didn't want to work in a supermarket. So I just didn't want to be confined. I'd been free. So I stumbled into this business with a desire just to make enough money to go backpacking around the world. Within the idea was like 6 months, save everything, grab my surfboard. But actually, within 7 weeks, I'd won a free holiday to Rome, and I didn't even know how. But I was hungry. I was passionate because I had this mindset: if others can, so can I. And I saw people. I was in an environment where people were succeeding, people were passionate, people were excited, people were personally developing, people were setting goals, which I thought personal development. I'm not reading a book. Like you struggle to get me reading a book at school. Setting goals, again, as I said before, I thought it was mumbo jumbo. But I got into this environment, and it started to I was rubbing shoulders with people, and it started to rub off on me. I started to believe if others can, so can I. What if I could earn a couple of grand a month? What if I could win these free holidays? I mean, I had no right to be in business, and no right at all. Like I was a backpacking, beach bum, weed smoking guy. I was that guy. Obviously, I'm not backpacking now. I'm not smoking weed, but I still do like to try to surf, I will say now. But anyway, that's another story. So I started to believe in the possibilities. I started to rub shoulders. And I remember going to this event, seeing this guy talking about how goal setting and getting passionate about his life had given them the opportunity to design their own life. So I started thinking about setting goals. So I set a few goals. They happened. And then I got a little bit excited. I started setting more goals. And then I just become crazy, like a goal setting junkie, really starting to dream and believe in the possibilities. But sometimes our belief is challenged. And that's what I love about this Mums in Business community, because everybody supports each other. You can piggyback on other people's belief whilst you're building your own. Now, again, 2 myths I just want to share with you. And look, I'm very direct, and I say this in a loving way. So many people give me excuses, and I believe that you can make excuses or you can make money, but you can't do both at the same time. Now, I know we lack confidence. I know we lack belief, but the only way to change that is action. Sometimes you've got to have blind faith and belief in those around you, and just do the thing you said you were going to do, even when you don't feel like it, because it's only action that builds confidence and belief. There is no other way. Like results, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent. Like I remember Anthony Robbins talking about, whether you get a bad result or a good result, it's still a result. It's how we look at things that really, really counts. So, if you're low on confidence, that's okay. If you're low on personal belief, that's okay. But you're in an environment where people champion your success, where you've got cheerleaders, where you've got people believing in you. Piggyback on that. Use that to your advantage, and make sure you've got a plan, in line with your business, in line with your passions, and go and do the thing. Do it every day. Every day, one of my passions. I was just talking to a brand new lady today. My mission every day is to just be my best. It doesn't matter what results I get. Doesn't matter what interaction I get. Doesn't matter what people say. I just know at the end of every day, if I can say, hey, do you know what? You've had a good day today, Craig. You did what you said you were going to do and you had fun doing it. Now, there's a big thing as well. Everything I like to do, I like to have fun doing it. Keep looking at the clock. So, look, anyway, I digress. So I got into this environment. I started dreaming, and I'm sure this makes sense to everyone. The further you climb, the further you see. You know, I wanted to make a little bit of money, and then I was making a couple of grand. And then I'm like, I wonder if I get to 2.5. I wonder if I can get to 3. I wonder if I get to 3.5, and so on. The further I climbed, the further I saw. What we believe is what we see. Now, we often hear seeing is believing. That's not true. What we believe is what we see. And our beliefs fundamentally, ordinarily, are created from an outside world, either from our geographical or cultural growing up, our parenting, or the environment we find ourselves in. That's what shaped our beliefs. But actually, a belief is a choice. We can change a belief by making a choice at any single moment. And this is what's really, really powerful. You've got to believe in the possibilities of the mind, the personal choice, and the ability to go out there and do anything your heart's desires. So I started to not only get into this environment, I started reading books. I started listening to audio programs. I started consuming and changing my mindset and changing the way I was thinking. That, you know, I'm still friends and with loads of people that I hung around with many, many years ago. But oh boy, have I changed. But isn't that the purpose of living? How we change is how we succeed. And I'm continuing to learn, develop, grow today, which is why I'm super excited about all of the speakers that are coming on. But one of the things I want to share with you, so sometimes when we look at business, like some people say, well, I don't have the money to invest, or I don't have X, Y, and Z. I tell you what we do have, what I like to call sweat equity. It's free, it's a choice, and it's really upon us. It's that almost like another mindset from a work ethic perspective. You're putting your sweat equity into building your business and your financial success, and even your not just your wealth, but your personal health as well. So anyway, fast forward to today. I literally live the dreams I had whilst working for those that I have. You know, in my first business, we did something like, I don't know, 50 odd £million worth of sales. In the business I've been in just over 4 years, we're just about to smash 10 million. But I also know that next year we'll be doing £1 million every 3 weeks. Like the trajectory, the growth, the leadership, the development, you know, that is the goal. And I'm going to be single-minded in my contribution without need of compensation to deliver the leadership, to deliver the mentorship, to deliver the coaching, to deliver that environment and that culture where everyone counts, where everyone's got a voice, where everyone's valuable. And I think that's really, really fundamentally important. Like a leader of one is a leader of many. If you're unable to lead one, you'll never lead any. So I can't even speak. I absolutely love what I do. You know, I've had all of the trinkets of success, but sometimes when you realize and you get them, you realize they're not the things that matter. You know, success is about relationships. It's about happiness. And it's about being able to do the things that you want to do with the people you love. That's what's really important to me. Relationships, happiness, and being able to have the choice to do the things in this kind of circle of influence, I guess. So I love what I do. I've been clever, I guess, over the years. Leona always mentions I'm a multiple entrepreneur. I, started investing in property. There's always a trigger, right? And today has to be your trigger to go into a world of creativity, a world of fun, and a world by design. Now, I had a trigger. I was on a plane to Spain. I'm great with flying. I travel the world, been traveling a lot ever since I was a kid. But I tell you what, this plane, I still, after an hour of like the turbulence, I got off at Alicante Airport and I was still shaking. The plane dropped. The coke out of the can left my can and hit the roof. It dropped that much, right? It was insane. Anyway, as always, I digress. I came back from Spain. I sold I had a black Porsche 911, which was my golden dream. I had it for maybe 10 years. I sold that because I thought, what's the use of a piece of metal on the drive? What was to happen to me? I've got a family. So I sold that and I went on this mission. I found a couple of mentors, found out what they did, and I decided to invest in property. In 18 months, I bought 5 houses just by like following a simple system. Everything's duplicatable. You know, you look at Roger Bannister, he ran the first 4-minute mile, wasn't it? Then all of a sudden everyone believed they could do it because there was a blueprint for success. You've just got to find the blueprint, the mentorship and the guidance, but then have the passion to succeed. So I went on a mission to build a property portfolio. That was great. It's booming today. It's a great extra income stream. But also back in 2006, I set a goal to write a book. Now I didn't pass English, believe it or not, the first time. I had to go back and resit my English exam the following year. But actually, I set this goal in 2006 to become good enough to bring value to the world and create an audio program, which I wanted to donate all proceeds to the children of Barnardo's at Christmas. In 2012, I'd written this on a piece of paper. In 2012, should we turn your phone off, shouldn't you? In 2012, I set a goal to complete this. And in the October, I remember looking at this bit of paper above my computer, and I'm like, oh my God, you need to get you together, you know? So I literally, in 2 weeks, I wrote this audio program, I recorded it, I paid someone to set up a website, which was all automated and digital. We sold the CD, it was called Elastic Attitude. It was like a 60-minute audio program. We sold that for the month of November. We generated £9,500 worth of sales. I turned that into toys and donated it to the children of Barnardo's at Christmas, like goal achieved. So you've got to have them goals around you, but then you've got to get the urgency to go out there and make them happen. I'd almost forgot about that. And it just literally, when I looked up and it triggered me into action. If I wanted to accomplish that goal, I needed to take action right then. And I did. That later developed into me launching a book called Driven by Passion, and then Accelerating Your Success, which was like a little PDF, but also a book available, I think, on Kindle. And then obviously Elastic Attitude, Expanding Your Potential, which has been a best-selling book. It's crazy, but it's my story, it's my passions, it's my methodology, it's my way of thinking, but I also believe it's a blueprint for people to expand their potential and become the greatest version of themselves each and every day. So that brings us to right now. And I want to share some key things with you in the next 3 minutes. Number one, passion, energy, and value are absolutely anything. You've got to bring your passion. You've got to bring your energy. Like, you know, you've got to bring that personal fire that's inside every one of us. It doesn't matter what our personality type is. We've got a fire. It burns differently, but you just need to bring that to your day. And I mentioned about bringing value without need of compensation. What a great mentality. Give without need of return. Like, and if you focus on giving, the more we learn, the more we become, the more we give, the more we learn. It will naturally help. Like, the more you put out, the more you will attract back. I really, really do believe that. But for me, these 3 core values, passion, or priorities for me, passion, energy, and value, is what creates my environment. So it's not just my business environment, but it's my family environment and how that rubs off on those around us. Like everything we do, somebody added me as a friend saying, hey, we actually met at an event like 7 years ago in Spain, in Alicante, and I just wanted to reach out to you and say thank you. Your content is so positive. It's a joy to see. Well, look, that's great. It doesn't matter. Like you are influencing people in a positive way without even realizing. And there doesn't even need to be a financial gain. Just knowing that you're making a difference in the world is just game changing. So passion, energy, value, create your own environment. But here's the fascinating thing. You're then going to expand your niche. Now, I believe, and I was talking about this briefly yesterday with Leona, your niche is you. Like attracts like. Be authentically you on social media. That is the key for me. Like literally just show up. She's coming on. I'm done. She's going to get me off.
No, I'm not. You're all right. Don't worry. You keep going because you're rocking and rolling. You got a couple of minutes.
Cool. So social media, we know it's massive. Leona is the goddess of this. You know, I always praise her. I love her. I follow her. She inspires me, gives me loads of like ideas for content. And that's the power of a community. Like having a blueprint. Like sometimes everyone has brain fog, right? Some days you're like, oh, what am I going to do? Go and have a look at the 5 people that inspire you the most. See what they're doing. There's your inspiration. Bang, all of a sudden, within 5 minutes of doing that, I've got a post. So you don't have to have all the ideas, but there is a blueprint inspiration all around you at any single time. And social media is great for that. But showing up and creating your own environment, expanding your niche by being authentically you and connecting with people like you is the best kind of community to build, because relationships are then natural, in my opinion. So just to finish off on 3 things that I think are really, really important, like not only for doing the do in 2022, but for setting yourself up to not just finish strong, but to start fast, like in a new year, like is dream bigger. How do you dream bigger? Get around people that have bigger dreams than you. Like if you're spending your time with 5 turkeys, you're not gonna you're not going to grow and expand with the Eagles. So you've got this community, which is really, really great. Dream big, like break the boundaries. Like I always had people say to me, well, don't you think that's a big goal? I'm like, what? It's my goal. Why are you criticizing it? So don't pay attention to the negative Nellies. Pay attention to your heart, your soul. Dream big. Like the bigger you dream, your body, your mind will find solutions into making that a reality unconsciously. So dream big. If you haven't already started building a vision board for 2023, go and build one. I mean, maybe one day I can show you my vision boards that I created 5-6 years ago. And like, it's insane how things become a reality. One of them, actually longer than that, one of them was like put a boat on a Spanish like dream. I don't even like boats. I don't even know why I put a picture of a boat on my vision board. I ended up having a flipping boat. Worst investment on the world, but it made me laugh because when I looked at my vision board, I'm like, oh my God, I've even got the boat, right? So create your vision board, not just for 2023, but for your dream designed life. Work smarter. How do you work smarter? Well, I had a bit of a joke with somebody the other day because they're new to the industry that we work in. And she said, how do you work smart? And I said, every week I have a board meeting. She's like, what, by yourself? And I'm like, yeah. Every week I have a board meeting. I look at all of the things I've done the week before. What do I need to follow up on? But I also look at what I didn't do enough of the week before. What do I need to correct and adjust coming into the coming week? So I have a weekly board meeting. I have a to-do list every single day. I've gone back to paper, although I do have this pad, but I lost the lead. So I went back to paper for a couple of weeks while a new lead come. Digress it. So work smart. Have a board meeting with yourself every week, even just for an hour to plan your week. We all have stuff around our business and entrepreneurial passions. Everything's a priority. It needs to be mapped out so you can work smart, be a great parent, be a great partner, but also be a great entrepreneur. And then finally, dream big, work smarter, and excuse my language, but just make shit happen. Even when you don't feel like it, show up. Like success is about getting dressed up and dressing for success every day, even when you don't feel like it. Do what you said you were going to do long after you said you were going to do it, because it's in the moments of decision when no one else is watching, when you win or when you lose. It's in the moments of decision when no one else is watching, when you win or you lose. I hope that's been of interest to you. Massive kudos for you all for being a part of this community. Go design and create your own life, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the day. Thanks for having me.
Craig, ladies and gentlemen, light up that chat box because he rocked everybody's socks off. I absolutely know it for sure. And the biggest thing that I actually want to touch on that you said there, Craig, is when you don't feel inspired, when you don't feel internally motivated in that moment, because let's be fair, we are all human and we all have those moments. Put on something that will inspire you. Now, people laugh at me because I will put on something like Selling Sunset on Netflix because I'm inspired by the houses. I love real estate. I love that type of lifestyle, and that inspires me sometimes. Sometimes it's watching YouTube. Sometimes it's listening to a podcast. But the biggest thing that I can say to you guys is becoming so self-aware of what turns you on. Right? What turns your entrepreneurial switch on and how you feel lit up in that moment. So Craig, thank you so much for being here with us today. Thank you so much for sharing with such passion and such energy and such fire. I know the community have taken so much away from it already. So where can we find your book, just to recap?
And literally, it's easy. Elasticattitude.com. Just go straight there. Nice and easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for everything. Now we are bringing on our very, very next guest.